right now at 6 o'clock, thousands of people hitting the streets on May Day, and this year, the International Celebration of Workers' Rights is bringing together a medley of causes.
We cannot let our rights be taken away.
From fired up seniors relying on Social Security to legal professionals outraged at the White House.
This administration has no respect for the rule of law.
We'll hear from people from all walks of life raising their voices on May Day. Plus, it looks like something out of a sci-fi movie, but the team behind this mysterious orb says it's supposed to protect you from AI.
We know that we want to answer only one question. Are you human?
Our Lauren Toms gets an up-close look at how it works.
All right, I'm a human.
And later, the latest honor for some Bay Area rock legend.
This is kind of like being at your own funeral.
We'll hear from Green Day on getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening, I'm Devin Feely in for Juliette tonight. Right now, thousands of protesters are marching through the streets of San Francisco. They represent a wide spectrum of causes, but they're all there to mark International Workers' Day, better known as May Day. They kicked off their protests with a rally at the Civic Center Plaza in San Francisco. They're marching through downtown to San Francisco to the San Francisco ICE office at the Federal Building on Sansom Street. Our Kevin Coe joins us from the middle of the action. Kevin, what is it like out there?
Hey, Devin, I can barely hear you because it is so loud out here. You have a lot of people with different instruments, banging on drums, and a lot of chants happening as well. Devin, you also mentioned the variety of causes that we're here. You can just see that for yourself just looking at some of the signs. Right above you, you see right here, Labor for Palestine, and then all around us, you see different signs supporting immigrants, migrant workers, and also you see a lot about income inequality as well. When we talk about how all of this ties to May Day, International Workers' Rights Day, it really comes down to this. There are people here from a variety of industries who are all workers, and they all feel in one way or another that their rights have been infringed upon. So they are all out here right now. We do have a lot of emotion as well, a lot of frustration, some anger, nothing violent, but all of these people putting all of those frustrations right here onto Market Street, heading to the Federal ICE building on Sansom.
You know, Kevin, thank you for that live report. It really gives you a sense of both the people, the numbers, the energy, and the different issues that are brought together in that march. Kevin Coe, thank you very much. Now, meantime, here is a live look from our chopper over another May Day protest, this one in the city of Oakland. This is San Antonio Park. The march started at the Fruitvale BART station. Community members marching to protect the rights of workers and immigrants in the Bay Area and across the country. These are just some of the dozens of May Day rallies around the Bay Area. At UCSF and Mission Bay, healthcare workers are protesting a system-wide hiring freeze that they say is unfair and unlawful. In San Jose, courthouse workers protested attacks on judges for unpopular rulings happening across the country. And in Oakland, this group of seniors didn't let mobility challenges stop them from taking a stand against the Trump administration. They're fighting against proposed cuts to programs like Social Security and Medicaid.
Well, I might be a little slower, but I have the same energy because we are all in this together. We cannot let our rights be taken away.
And there was also one on a San Jose street corner. May Day demonstrators faced off with counter-protesters. Lynn Ramirez was there as political tensions flared at Story and King Roads.
And we will fight until we win what we need, which is dignity and justice for all workers.
There was already a sense of urgency in the air at this year's May Day rally in San Jose, with organizers saying working people feel under attack from City Hall all the way to the White House.
We are here to support all people's rights and support them and uplift these voices.
But when MAGA supporters showed up to counter-protest, two groups of people with vastly different political views came face to face, and tolerance for each other's presence was stretched to the limit. The MAGA people brought megaphones and waved Trump flags on the corner of Story and King.
The majority of Americans want mass deportation. This is what Americans voted for.
But the broad coalition of people who came out to support International Workers' Day had them vastly outnumbered. One of them was Elizabeth, who works for an agency that provides housing for the homeless.
I believe in the importance of showing compassion, kindness, and care for the people in our community, particularly those who are most marginalized, most oppressed, and vulnerable.
The situation did not escalate beyond the war of words. There were no winners, and it's doubtful anyone's minds were changed. Eventually, the MAGA supporters left the rally quietly, and the May Day rally became a march to City Hall.
Before school this morning, teachers throughout the Berkeley School District took to the sidewalks demanding better wages and staffing. They say teachers have been stretched far too thin for far too long.
We need support for our special education teachers. We need fully staffed schools. We need personnel in classrooms. We need the high cost of living. We have insurance that's going up every year, and we need support.
No classes were disrupted. A potential teacher strike was averted in Fremont. The union and the district have a tentative agreement on a 3-year contract. Now, this comes after teachers had threatened to walk off the job for weeks over class size and compensation. The new contract includes a salary raise and better benefits, but the union says it is still disappointed that the new agreement doesn't include caps on class sizes. In other news, Santa Clara County's medical examiner confirmed that a man has died from overdosing on a synthetic opioid so powerful it's compared to nerve gas. It's called carfentanil. Health experts say it's 100 times more potent than regular fentanyl. It is primarily used as an elephant tranquilizer, and experts say it should never be ingested by humans. The man who died in Santa Clara County was 39 years old. He was found with counterfeit pills that were made to look like prescription oxycodone. A 75-year-old woman and her dog were hit and killed in San Francisco this afternoon. It happened around 2:30. Police say the woman was in the crosswalk at Howard and 7th Streets and had the right-of-way, when the driver of a white pickup truck made a left turn and hit both her and the dog. The woman died at the hospital. Investigators say the driver is cooperating, and neither alcohol nor drugs appear to be a factor in this crash. An update on the traffic nightmare that we were covering at this time yesterday on the Bay Bridge. The man who climbed the side of the bridge in a ski mask was taken into custody last night. That incident caused an hours-long backup in both directions during the evening commute. It's not entirely clear if he's going to face any charges. And still ahead, here at 6 o'clock, a tech startup co-founded by one of the world's leading AI executives says it can protect you from AI bots. You just need to embrace the orb.
Everything that you see online within a year from now might be generated by AI. This is the first big, bold, kind of bizarre attempt to repair all of that.
Plus, if you're heading to Yosemite this summer, you'll need a reservation at least sometimes. We'll take a look at the park's new policies. And a heads up for people planning to visit Yosemite National Park this summer, reservations will now be required for certain dates. Here is the list: Memorial Day weekend, Labor Day weekend, and then a stretch in the middle of June, June 15th and August 15th. It only applies if you're planning to be inside or drive through the park between 6 a.m. and 2 p.m. on those days. It's a way to reduce congestion during the busiest times of the year. Before the park started testing out reservation policies, visitors in the summer saw hours-long waits at entrances and heavy traffic in popular areas. Meanwhile, a new legal ruling on one of the president's deportation strategies. A federal judge in Texas has blocked the Trump administration from using a wartime law to deport Venezuelan migrants accused of being part of a gang. The judge ruled the administration exceeded the scope of the Alien Enemies Act. This ruling only applies to those detained in the Southern District of Texas, however. Meantime, in Washington, Congress taking aim at California. The House voted today to block the state from enforcing its ban on the sale of new gas-powered cars by 2035. The California Air Resources Board says the House illegally used the Congressional Review Act to repeal 3 federal waivers that let California set strict vehicle pollution standards. Governor Newsom said in a statement that Trump Republicans are hell-bent on making California smoggy again. Clean air didn't used to be political, he said. Now the Senate has a decision to make.
After a few days of inland warmth, temperatures returned to almost exactly normal for the first day of May, 1 degree above average in Concord and San Jose, a few degrees short of what's typical for this time of year in Santa Rosa. The really cool weather is in store over the next couple of days, and it's going to be breezy too. We're tracking all the changes coming up in the First Alert forecast.
So we're joined now by Chief Meteorologist Paul Hagan. As we get closer and closer to the weekend, I have been laser focused on Saturday because we keep hearing that maybe a chance of rain, but diminishing.
So there's good news and bad news. Good news, rain chances going down. Okay. Bad news, not going to be an ideal day for anything outside because the wind is going to be picking up quite a bit. So
as long as I don't get rained on, I don't actually care.
Okay, we'll see.
Is that a check? Keep the tape, check back on Monday?
Yeah, I'm just going to file that one away and reject all complaints come Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be blustery on Saturday for sure. Let's take a look at what you need to know as we get closer to the first weekend of May, or weather headlines as we look out over the Bay Bridge from Salesforce Tower and seeing plenty of that fog sneaking out over the bay already. It's going to spread out as we go through the rest of tonight. It's one of the indicators of the cooling trend, a deeper marine layer making more of a push across the bay and into the inland valleys late tonight. The cooling trend will send us to below average temperatures pretty much across the board tomorrow, and then way below average on Saturday. More clouds, a little bit of drizzle, but again, those actual rain chances continue to trend closer and closer to zero. Not technically zero, but they're getting closer. We are going to see gusty winds on Saturday. It's going to be noticeable already tomorrow. And there's, the fog may be messing with the cables that run into the Salesforce Tower camera. A calmer day on Sunday as our temperatures start to bounce back up to closer to what's normal for this time of year. Switching perspectives, not much fog visible from the top of Mount Diablo. Temperatures anywhere from 55 in the city. It's already cool out there to 71 degrees at the moment in Concord. But even the warmest spots were only a degree or two above average this afternoon. Pretty much everybody inland was very close to normal for the first day of May, while around the bay and along the coast, temperatures were slightly below average. And that's a trend that we'll just kind of lean into over the next couple of days. Let's track the fog on our floor map, and the fog is going to have more success making its way over some of the terrain barriers, or at least through some of the gaps in the terrain and into the Tri-Valley, other inland valleys of the East Bay. Plenty of fog in the North Bay valleys and in the Santa Clara Valley to begin the day tomorrow. The presence of that fog is going to help to put the brakes on the warm up. Plus, it's just a cooler atmosphere in general. So while the fog is going to back up to the coast as we head towards lunchtime, we are going to see temperatures slow to respond to the emerging sunshine, and we'll end up a few degrees below average. A mix of upper 60s and low 70s in the Santa Clara Valley, mostly 70s east of the Oakland Hills, but just short of 70 degrees in Livermore, and temperatures around Fairfield and Antioch only in the low to mid 70s. Low to mid 60s for San Francisco and Oakland, only 50s for most coastal communities, and for the North Bay, it's going to be a mix of 60s and low 70s. The warm spot, though, across the entire Bay Area, not all that warm, but it's best we can do, 75 degrees for a high temperature tomorrow afternoon in Healdsburg. In terms of the winds, might mess with your dog walking plans for tomorrow. As we do every Thursday, we have an adoptable dog in the dog walking forecast. This is a Ringo. No signs of John, Paul, or George, but we do have a Ringo for the East County Animal Shelter who doesn't look like he's going to let the wind bring him down or the cool temperatures into the mid-60s in Dublin by tomorrow afternoon. It's about as far as we're going to go. So there are going to be some cooler spots even inland over the next couple of days. I'll put a link up on social media as soon as this weathercast is over with Ringo's details if you're interested in adopting him. The windiest day will be Saturday. These are the every 6-hour wind gusts from one of the forecast models for tomorrow and Saturday. And we have some 30-plus mile-an-hour gusts on the map already tomorrow. a lot more of those on the chart for Saturday. Most gusts are going to be in the 30 to 35 mile an hour range. Some gusts in the 40 to 50 mile an hour range, especially closer to the coast. And that could prompt a wind advisory from the National Weather Service for at least coastal parts of the Bay Area. It's one of the reasons for our cool down. Livermore's temperatures dipped to barely above 60 on Saturday, but then we climbed the other side of the roller coaster back up into the low 80s on Monday, down again Tuesday and Wednesday, but then settling in the 80s again by Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Up and down temperatures, kind of a feature of May conditions around the Bay Area on a typical basis. Not much of a rain chance. Again, it's technically not zero, but definitely locked into that low category for Friday and Saturday. The wind is going to be more of a major complicating factor for any outdoor plans that you have this weekend. Let's check out the 7-day forecast at the coast. Temperatures don't go down a whole lot more, but we're kind of hover in the 50s through Sunday, and then a couple days in the 60s, even mid-60s for coastal parts of the Bay Area on Monday, and that almost qualifies as a May heat wave along the coast. Basically, this time of year, you just take whatever sunshine you can see. Temperatures around the Bay also warming up as we head into early next week. One day in the mid-70s and then back down into the 60s Bayside, which is where you're supposed to be this time of year. Inland temperatures, you have the biggest ups and downs. Down to the 60s on Saturday, back up to the 80s on Monday, and then settling into the 70s by Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll keep you updated on all those ups and downs over the next several days.
So it looked like about 25 mile per hour winds down in San Jose on Saturday.
25 to 30, I would count on that.
I'm going to text you a picture. Like if I'm like tilting into the wind trying to do a hike, I'm definitely going to send you that picture. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Paul. The RSA Cybersecurity Conference wraps up today at Moscone Center, but it is not just about the tech inside. It was also a test for all of the Waymos dropping people off outside of the convention. And as photojournalist Rick Villaroman found out, things got a little crazy on the streets with no one behind the wheel.
If you're a resident of San Francisco, you're probably used to seeing autonomous vehicles. But for those attending the RSA conference, it's a sight to see and a no-brainer to request a ride.
Come on, this is a conference with IT guys, so we are fully trusted.
It's fantastic. It was like 10x better than a human driving a car.
But with the 40,000 attendees this conference brings, there's a lot more congestion in the area around Moscone Center. And adding a bunch of robo-taxis to the mix only adds to the chaos.
The Waymos are great, man. They cause gridlock, they give me an interesting view from the 11th floor.
They block me, and then, you can't see everywhere. Waymo needs more
experience.
Yes.
Just in the few hours we were covering the RSA conference, we witnessed Waymos making several violations, including blocking traffic, stopping in the middle of the intersection, and turning right from the center lane. In a nutshell,
like but they drive good.
But is it good enough? Mayor Daniel Lurie sparked mixed reaction when he announced plans to allow Waymos on Market Street in an effort to help revitalize downtown. But some groups disagree.
If the goal is to get more people downtown, the way to do that is on public transit and is on bikes.
Luke Bornheimer of Streets Forward worries it will only roll back progress already made.
We've had a lot of gains in terms of safety and in terms of transit speed and reliability. Allowing Waymos on Market Street would slow down transit and make the street more chaotic.
Time will tell if he's right, but if this week's RSA conference is any indication, chaos could be the new norm. So pack your patience, because the best way to get downtown just might be in a Waymo.
And when we come back, the huge honor for East Bay rock legends Green Day. And here's a look at what's ahead on the CBS Evening News.
How can an 89-year-old man be a key player for a minor league baseball team?
We went to Rochester, New York to find out. Tonight on the CBS Evening News.
You may not typically question your humanness, maybe your humanity, but not humanness. But in this new world of bots, a Bay Area leader in artificial intelligence is out with a new solution to a growing problem. This eye-scanning mobile verification device was made not just to verify your human status, but to ensure that online you're interacting with other human beings as well. The device is a project from OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, and it made its debut at a new retail store in San Francisco's Union Square next to Macy's. Lauren Toms was there and introduces us to the Orb.
It looks like an eye, and it scans your eye too. The center attraction at a flagship store in Union Square is World Network's Orb that scans your metrics to verify your humanness. Clement jumped at the opportunity to do just that, something he says was spurred by curiosity and questions about the future of AI in our lives.
I think at some point there's going to be very an issue online to know if we are real or if you are talking just to a machine. And I think I wanted to understand how it works.
These are the first systems of their kind to be deployed to the U.S. They've already been in use in over 100 other countries by more than 12 million users, including Clement. But it's not quite ready for his pup Tixie.
For example, on dating apps or like when you work, but you really want to be sure that it's a human behind and that's the real work of the real words from a human. And it's real value to be a human at the end of the day.
The goal, the group says, is to have all humans verified in its system to seamlessly operate between platforms from dating sites to gaming sites, so you know who and what you're interacting with online. It's something that's becoming more crucial, as recent data suggests that in just about 1 year from now, 90% of online interactions will have some kind of AI component. Chief architect Adrian Ludwig tells us they're hoping to get humans ahead of AI's power.
It's kind of hard to tell who the people are online. And so the first thing you need to know is this a people? And if so, that's where the benefit should be going.
A system like this comes with steep privacy concerns, and Adrian was tasked with data protection. He says the platform is impossible to hack because once it takes your picture, it doesn't save personal information.
The Orb gives that picture to the person and then immediately deletes it. It doesn't need it. It's analyzed it, confirmed they're human, and once it knows that, it can just keep that proof around that it at one point in the past did the analysis. It doesn't need to store it.
Until now, I had never questioned my own humanness, but of course I had to find out. Let me show you how it works. Like most things, it starts by downloading the World app and scanning a QR code into one of these orbs. The orb then takes a scan of your iris, your face curvature, your pulse, and your temperature, all to verify that you are in fact a human. From there, the system says that it exchanges that personal information for a unique anonymous number-based code, and then it says it deletes all that personal information that it just took. But we spoke with some people who say that privacy is still a greater concern than their humanness.
It's the path we're going down, and it's the unknown. And if it helps in some type of way, yes, I would say yes to everything, but that unknown path is scary.
We also tested it on Clement's pup Tixie, who is in fact not a human, but may be the system's next target as this technology grows its database to root out the fake from the real.
More than 12 million people have already verified their identity using the orbs, which are available and free to use in more than 20 countries. They went from the Boulevard of Broken Dreams to the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Green Day has been honored with a star in the recording category. Bassist Mike Dirntz reminisced about their beginnings in Contra Costa County. He started the band with lead singer Billy Joe Armstrong back in 1987. And he thanked Armstrong's mom for giving them a place to play.
There's that saying everybody here always hears, don't forget where you come from. I'd like to start with thanking Ollie. Thank you so much for giving us a safe place to have band practice, giving me a safe place to live when I was in high school. I love your family.
Green Day is already in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They won 5 Grammys and even a Tony. Later this month, they're going to be headlining the Bottle Rock Music Festival in Napa. The CBS Evening News with Maurice Dubois and John Dickerson is next here on KPIX. The local news continues on our streaming service, CBS News Bay Area. We're back here in 30 minutes.